Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Bola Abiri, and I can't really believe that I'm smiling this week because I think I've had a mini-sode of a quarter life crisis this week. Right? And I can really kind of resonate with people that are going through that. It means different things for different people, right? And it can be triggered by different things. And I know it's a short period of time to come out and talk about it, and maybe I'm still slightly going through it. And I think what I've come to share actually is my plan to get out of my rut, to get out of like the feeling of being in the quarter life crisis, and just sort of getting out of that and how I plan to like move on. So, quarter life crisis, I'm sure we've probably heard of that before, and I call it a mini-sode because I know for many people it could be like an extended period of time over like a months or even years. Yeah, and typically happens in like mid-20s, but also ages that border around mid-20s if we go by the thinking that I'm sure the average lifespan in different are different, but just going by 100 and then quarter of 100 is 25, right? So like 25-ish, so basically ages surrounding 25, your mid-20s basically. And it could even happen from like as early as like 22. Some people actually like really back to like late teens, but I'll just go with like sort of mid-20s, which is where I find myself. And sometimes it even continues up to your late 20s. You can look it up online to have more information about this. Anyway, talking about a practical experience of quarter life crisis, I feel like for different people it can be triggered by different things. It could be the loss of a loved one, it could really vary. Of course, the loss of a loved one is massive, or the end of a career, or not being able to like pursue something you wanted to do, especially people that maybe like to do sports, and maybe they had an injury and couldn't finish that. For some people it is heartbreak, and for some other people it could just be as little as, well, not so little, their car's having problems. And for some people, honestly, it's a mixture. Like, you just have like not a bad 5 minutes, like major things happen and you're just like, oh my god, you break down. And I think the most important bit is like beginning to question all the decisions you have kind of made in your life to like get there, and just sort of wondering if any of that contributed to like the outcome you've gotten and the sad feeling you're feeling, or even thinking that maybe the way things have happened are actually based on like your own life circumstances and things that are beyond your control. And so it just makes you feel helpless. I feel like most people that have quarter life crisis probably like things that are beyond your control, like if a loved one dies or end of a friendship, and like it will be very hard, you can like get that back, or you may not get that back, or end of like a relationship, or end of whatever, end of like whatever, really, end of something. That's always like a major one. Loss of a loved one, major one. And it could be little things, really. Maybe your car is always breaking down. It could be that simple. Or it could be a mixture. I know I've made like very, very similar sort of examples, but you can just fill in the boxes. For different people, it's different things, right? Okay, so I did have a mini-sode this week, and I was just in a rut, like I was in a proper rut. And it was just like, and the way I am, I like to feel things. I like to like both good and bad. I'm kind of person that if I feel good about something, if you're someone in my life, you probably know about it, like it radiates in my energy and all that. Like, you can see that I'm visibly happy about like a certain thing. And if I'm like really sad about something as well, like I could be talking to you and just piss out and you're like, hello, are you still there? Anyway, yeah, so that tends to happen for me. And so this week at work, I was just sort of like spacing out. What's going on, sis? What's going on? Oh my god. Anyway, one of those things, right? Yeah, so I'm not really yet to talk about like the addition of things that happened, because for me it started like beginning of the week, right? No, it started on Sunday, actually, like getting bad news on something, like more like a disappointment than bad news, like expecting an outcome on Sunday but not getting that. And then that just carried on into the week, and then in the middle of the week something else like just happened, and I was like, oh my god. Anyway, for different people it's different things, and what someone considers small, another person considers like a massive thing. and we're just all different and how we react to things are like different. So coming back to what I was saying, like how if I'm really happy, I'm always like very happy, I'll talk about like what I'm happy about, blah blah blah. And if I'm just very expressive, I also shows my energy. And if I'm really sad about something, I would feel it. Like I wouldn't like, you know, try to mask it. I think in the past I've tried to like mask some things, but like now who I am, who I've grown to be, I would just like really deal with things and then I'll come out of it and move on. That's kind of person I have grown to become, which I love. But it's not always the best when you're going through like really sad times, right? So like I'm constantly like talking to my friends about how I'm feeling, constantly like breaking down different little episodes of this my quarter life crisis minisodes, and like these things just make you like question everything else, like or is this that, and is that that, and is that that. And to be honest, you can see how many people that go through quarter life crisis, they may end up in like a sort of like mini depressive state. And I know depression is like a massive word to use, but there's something I learned about depression recently, and someone said it's more like deep rest. Like, so you're depressed, deep rest. As much as I don't like all these puns, they sound very cheesy, right? I don't really like all these puns, but you know what, that makes sense. Like, because think of it, if someone is depressed, they're just in bed, they don't want to move, like there's probably no sign that they're even like alive. They just like lay there like a log of wood, except when they cry maybe. I know like depression is not something to be joked about, honestly, and I'm just like trying to make light of how I was feeling this week. Yeah, depressed. So depressed is a thing, and you know, normally in life we're always constantly going and all that. And you know what, maybe depressed is not such a bad idea, not for a long period of course, but I'm talking about depression is not a good idea, but just come with me, like resting like deeply and maybe questioning your life situation, your life decisions, and where you're at is not always such a bad thing. Maybe questioning your life decisions and all that is not always a bad thing. Maybe it's actually, it can be a good thing. I think it depends on what you make out of it. For me personally, because I'm very expressive, I'll call my friends, I'll let them know how I'm feeling, and because I let them know how I'm feeling, then they can sort of like give me some sort of constructive criticism, and I could take back into my life even after I'm done with this like deep rest episode, and like, you know, implement that in my life and like maybe eventually get the outcomes I want, or maybe even like detach from the outcome if that's something that constantly make me like sad and all that. Okay, so here is my plan based on like doing that and all that. Here is my plan on how to get out of my minisode, my quarter life crisis minisode. Oh my god, if my mom watches this, she'll probably be slightly concerned and she'll be like, are you fine? You're alone in that country, are you good? But yeah, mom, if you watch this, I'm fine. Moving forward, so this is how I plan to get out of this deep rest and, you know, quarter life crisis minisode. So my key major plan is to take the constructive criticism I received from my friends and run with that. And for me, one of the things that one of my friends actually highlighted was like, it was just like, and you know, males, the way men react to things sometimes, I mean, it pisses me off. And I was like, just stop laughing. I was talking to this my friend, and this guy was just laughing. It was just like, you take things too seriously. Like, why? And he was just like making light of the whole situation. And you know what? Maybe it's kind of right. I agree. I do take things seriously. And if you check out my last video when I was talking about soft living and like entering my softer girl era, because I feel like externally maybe I'm more of a softer girl, like in the sense of what the YouTube girlies say having a soft life is. I'm not like 100% there, but I tend, like, my life tips towards that part, right? So I think maybe externally yes, but internally maybe I'm not. And that's why I made my last video, so I'll leave that up there, check it out. That I'm entering into my softer girl era, because I noticed that part of me. And maybe this advice is not for everyone, maybe this is for overachievers. I know, like, I am definitely in that category of wanting to like prove a point, wanting to like achieve this and wanting to win. I actually said it sometime like last week. I was like, yeah, I really like to win. Yeah, I really like to win. And sometimes it could be at the detriment of actually living. Do you know what I mean? And maybe a bit of that has happened of recent, maybe like in the past year or even the past 2 years, where I've just been so focused on like, I want to achieve this and that, and like this must be this particular figure and that must be that particular number. I've just been so like obsessed with that, and that has like really gone into like some areas of my life and made me like less soft. So that's why I said I always become a softer girl, right? But this constructive criticism from my friend saying you take life too seriously was like, hold on a minute. Actually, I do take life quite seriously. I know like people actually think that maybe I am the party friend. Maybe some people think that. Maybe it's not what I post on social media sometimes on, you know, how I am at I could be at occasions. I like to like, you know, just loosen up and have fun and whatnot. But the truth is that I'm actually not the party friend. I am the responsible friend deep down. Like, so when people get attracted to me because they think I am the party friend who has like this exciting life, and not to say I don't have an exciting life, but maybe sometimes it looks like I'm very like superficial and I have this like exciting life and that's just my life. But on a deeper level, I'm actually the very responsible friend. I'm the friend that is like, no, don't do this. So when people like get closer to me and realize what that is, it's always like a bit shocking, because, you know, there's that paradox. Yeah, so I'm actually a responsible friend who takes things very seriously. And not to say I'm not going to become like a responsible person anymore, but I think it's just from like, it's happened from like a young age where I've just leaned towards like getting good grades and doing this and doing that. But even some things that are serving at a certain point in your life could work against you at other points in your life. So like areas that maybe I should loosen up a bit, I'm not like as loosen up there, and it shows a little bit. And that was what my friend was highlighting to me. And honestly, this is like a sequel to my last video. The actual solution to my mini-sode of having a quarter life crisis, because I know it's not a full-blown quarter life crisis, and you know, questioning my decisions, my solution to that is actually to just live. Because think about it, in the first place, what we are here to do is live, irrespective of what that means to you. That means like different things to different people. The first thing we're here to do is live, right? And for some time I've lived, but at the same time I've not really lived. Like, I think living is, you know, obviously your beliefs, your values, going for all that, but also giving yourself permission to just like be and to just like enjoy certain things in life, which honestly I haven't really given myself permission, irrespective of sometimes having the means to do that. I know there's like delayed gratification, but if you're an overachiever, you can also take delayed gratification to like next level, like all the way to the left. Okay, and I think maybe that happened a bit for me. Yeah, so confession of a mini overachiever. I'm just learning, or I've learned from that the most important thing is to live, and it made me to like really evaluate certain things and like, hold on, I'm no longer in that place where I need to like overachieve to get to a particular stage. I'm no longer there. I'm in a place where I could just like relax, and that's what I aim to do. And yeah, basically doing all the things I mentioned in my last video, but also like chilling, just being chill. I think I'm chill, but at the same time I'm not chill. I don't know, two things can be true at the same time. Yeah, so that's what I just plan to do. I just plan to chill. Sometimes, you know, be a serious person but not take life too seriously at the same time. Yeah, I just plan to do that and live my best life and just really calm down. Yeah, so again, this advice is probably not for everyone, but to all my overachievers out there, this would probably make sense to you, and I hope this resonates with you, and I hope you can take this and run with this. And while everyone all over the internet is saying this is 2024, this is what you should do, that is what you should do, and just consuming all that content may make you almost go mad if you're already an overachiever, because it's like, oh my god, so I have to add all this on top of all the things I already do, which many people consider crazy, right? So if you are an overachiever, that advice is definitely for you. Just like live. I know it can be difficult to say if you're having like a full-blown quarter-life crisis, but live the little things. Like, that's the first thing to do. You're alive, live. That's the first thing to do. Just remember that you are alive, just live. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you lost a loved one, I have before, so I do understand that, but you're here, so you have to live, whatever that means to you and whatever you can afford to do at this time T. Yeah, just go for it and just live. So that is my little advice based on my own life, actually, not just dishing out stuff, but yeah, it just makes sense to me. And just doing things and making decisions and saying, yes, this will probably not make everyone in the world happy, but this is what will make me happy, and this is how I'm going to live, and I'm just going to move forward from this episode. And just like, you know, instead of trying to control certain outcomes, making sure things are exactly this way, like, just, you know, letting things be, achieve the things I can, letting go of things I can't. I mean, life is always like win or lose. It's not, I like winning again, but you can't win every time. That's life. This is what it is. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, like this video and definitely subscribe to my channel. Please get me to 500. I'm like 10 followers, close to 500. Please help me. Help me. Anyway, please subscribe to my channel, like this video. Even if you hate this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you, I don't know, totally do not like my face, still like my video, and subscribe to my channel, and maybe send this to a friend who this may be helpful to. I'll catch you in my next video about 2024, entering your softer girl era. Not your typical motivational kind of video, more like a chill, reminding you to be chill in 2024 kind of video. So I'll see you in that video. Bye.